Washington Football Maniacs.
Hello, football fans of the Washington Commanders. It's almost time. In fact, the NFL season kicks off on Thursday night with the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And of course, by the time you watch this video, that game will have already been played. And so we will know by then if the defending Super Bowl champions are 1-0 or 0-1. But I'm not here to talk about those Eagles or the Cowboys. No, I'm here to talk about the Redskins versus the Giants. Sorry, that sounds so much better than Giants versus Commanders. So Washington opens the season hosting the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants. And in today's podcast, we break down the matchup and give our predictions on the game. But first, the Washington Football Maniacs need your support. You can support us in many ways. The easiest way to support us is by subscribing to the podcast and, of course, hitting the notification bell so you will be notified for each and every video released. You can also support the channel by purchasing cool merch in the new Maniacs store. We have car decals, t-shirts, mugs, hoodie pullovers, and we're also adding new merch each and every week. So check it out. The link will be in the description below. Also, a little bit of housekeeping before we really get into the video. I will be live streaming on Sunday after the game, but going to be a little bit later. It's not going to be directly after the game. It's actually going to be a little bit more in the evening, but I will let you know. I'll give you a notification and what time that your Maniacs channel will be going live. So be looking for that on Sunday after the game. So most eyes have been on who the quarterback is going to be for the New York Giants. Is it going to be the rook Dart, or is it going to be the longtime vet Russell Wilson? Well, it looks like Russell Wilson is starting the season at quarterback 1 and will go up against these Washington Commanders. Of course, there's always a lot to talk about with Malik Neighbors, the Giants wide receiver 1. Malik has had some impressive numbers against the Washington Commanders last season, but that was also against a secondary that consisted of Emmanuel Forbes and Benjamin St-Juste. Those two guys are now gone, and we have what appears to be a much stronger secondary for the Washington Commanders. It also looks like our pass rush will be much more improved as well. Guys like, of course, Dorrance Armstrong, who's coming back. Dron Payne, we know, has always been a consistent player. Those guys can get after the quarterback. But we've also added the ageless Von Miller. Now, of course, Von Miller is a linebacker, but you'll probably see him more at the edge than you will linebacker. So expect Washington's defense to get after Russell Wilson and expect the secondary to have a better time with limiting and shutting down the Giants receivers. Where I am hoping to see improvement from this Washington defense will, of course, be in run support. Tyrone Tracy II or Jr. is listed as the Giants RB1, followed by Devin Singletary. And Tracy is going into his second year, and he's of course, he's a man out of Purdue. He's the running back 1. And Tracy, of course, he rushed for over 800 yards last season with the New York Giants. Devin Singletary in relief rushed for about half as many, a little over 400 yards. Did Washington, though, did they do enough to improve their run defense? Well, time will tell. Of course, Sunday will give us a little bit of indication as well. Preseason may not have necessarily painted a good picture of run support, so we will really find out what we can do against those New York Football Giants. Now, the Giants defense will be a force to be reckoned with. Their front 7 will certainly be a challenge, At least that's what Cliff Kingsbury was saying. Guys like Dexter Lawrence II leading the way. And then, of course, we've always had issues with Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's always seems like he's been a thorn in the side of the Washington offenses. However, the total defensive ranking for the New York Giants in 2024, it's only 24th. And it really came from kind of a shoddy run defense that the Giants had. And of course, Washington didn't fare much better. But if we want to talk about keys to the game, this is what's going to happen. Key 1, run the football. The Giants have not improved their run defense. You're going to have to run the football and then run it some more. And I feel like with a much improved offensive line of the Washington Commanders, I'd expect the Commanders to be able to run the football pretty well against the Giants. Whoever gets the football, that's Eckler, that's Rodriguez, Merritt, Nichols, any of those guys, I think will have a pretty big day against the Giants. Key 2, look for a lot of jet sweeps being handed off to Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, of course, is that gadget type of receiver, but he can also play a big role in the running game as well. And of course, another thing you want to look at, designed quarterback runs by Jaden Daniels. I think, honestly, the more effective that the Washington Commanders are on the run, honestly, I think it's going to be a much easier win. The third key to victory, you got to take Malik Neighbors out of the game. Now, I'm not saying hurt him. Giants fans, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you need to limit his catches. You need to take him out of the game plan. You need Marshawn Lattimore, maybe even Trey Amos, whoever's going to be following Malik Neighbors around. You need those guys to earn every dollar and shut down Neighbors as best as they possibly can. I think if you take Neighbors away and he's no longer a factor in the offense, the Giants are going to struggle mightily. With our pass defense, we seem like we can rush the quarterback pretty good. So if you're taking Neighbors out of the game, Russell Wilson, he's still mobile. Don't get me wrong. He is still mobile, but I think he is going to struggle if he's not having Neighbors throw to. And I'm sure the Giants are saying the same thing about Terry McLaurin. Let's take Terry McLaurin out of the equation, and then you're going to have to deal with all the other receivers. But you got to think, you got Deebo Samuel, who's no slouch. Noah Brown's probably going to be healthy. Zach Ertz, he can always have a big day. Jaden Daniels has some options. Who knows? Maybe Jalen Lane is going to have a big day. Now, my prediction, the Washington Commanders should win this one easily. I know that's a homer choice. I honestly think they can win this game pretty easily. The Giants, of course, will put up a fight. They will. But Washington, I feel like, will pull away in the fourth quarter. So I'm calling it now. I'm calling it a 28-14 victory for the Skins, which will be a good send-off for them as they go on a short week and head into Green Bay next to face the Green Bay Packers. Hey, if you like this video and others here on the Maniacs, please again consider subscribing to the Washington Football Maniacs podcast. And with that said, I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.